It's 11 p.m. on a Tuesday and you've been home for 3 hours, but you haven't actually stopped moving until right now. Shoes still by the door, half a glass of water you forgot about, and the couch finally has you. Your back hits the cushion, and something in your ribs unlocks, for the first time since morning. Then 47 pounds of dog lands directly on your sternum, full weight, no warning, no invitation. Paws folding awkwardly against your collarbones, that warm barrel chest flattening into yours, like they're trying to merge with your skeleton. And the first thing you do is exactly what almost every owner does. You laugh a little, shift them sideways, and say something like, "Come on, move, you're crushing me." Maybe you nudge them to the next cushion. Maybe you sit up because you still have dishes to do, and this is not the time. Either way, you treat it like an inconvenience, like your dog just has no concept of personal space. Or they want dinner again, or this is some leftover dominance thing you read about on a forum 6 years ago. Here's what actually just happened in the 30 seconds before that landing. Your breathing changed, not dramatically, not in a way you'd notice, but your exhale ratio shifted the moment you sat down. And your shoulders dropped 2 inches. Your dog was across the room when that happened. They weren't watching you, they were reading you. Not your face, not your posture, but something far more precise than that. And what they did next was not random. It wasn't about food, and it definitely wasn't about who's in charge. That full weight press into your chest is one of the most misidentified behaviors in the entire human-dog relationship. You Googled it once, probably while they were literally sitting on you, and the top result told you it was attention-seeking. The second result said dominance. The third one was a pet food ad. None of them told you the truth. Because what your dog just performed on your body has a clinical name, and the fact that nobody taught them to do it is the part that should stop you mid-scroll. Here's what's actually happening inside your dog's skull. When your dog presses its nose into the same spot on your ribcage. For the third time in an hour, it's not being affectionate, it's running a chemical assay. Dogs possess roughly 300 million olfactory receptor neurons, compared to your 6 million. And they route that data through a vomeronasal organ you don't even have. That organ sits behind the upper incisors and feeds directly into the accessory olfactory bulb, which bypasses conscious thought entirely and speaks straight to the hypothalamus. Your dog isn't deciding to investigate you, its hardware is doing it automatically. The way your pupils shrink in bright light and the substances it's sampling are not metaphors. Volatile organic compounds shed by cancerous tissue and cortisol metabolites seeping through your pores during a stress spike, shifts in blood glucose that alter the ketone profile of your breath. Published detection trials show dogs flagging these markers at concentrations down to parts per trillion. 1 drop hidden in 20 Olympic pools. That's not intuition. That's a biological gas chromatograph wearing fur. Now layer on the pressure piece. When 40 kilograms of dog parks itself across your sternum, your proprioceptive system fires. Mechanoreceptors deep in your fascia register sustained compression and relay it down the vagus nerve, which triggers a parasympathetic brake on your heart rate and dials back the entire HPA axis. The hypothalamic pituitary adrenal cascade responsible for flooding you with cortisol. Researchers call this coagulation, and it's measurable, salivary cortisol drops. Their interdigital glands, tiny scent-producing structures between their toe pads, are actively depositing chemical markers onto your skin. Every time they press a paw into your chest, you feel weight. They're executing a territorial scent protocol, tagging you with pheromones that broadcast a single message. To any other animal in the vicinity, this resource is claimed. But strip the dominance myth away and it collapses under its own anatomy. Behaviorally, those deposits map to affiliative proximity, the same function as allogrooming in social carnivores. A broadcast that says this resource is bonded, not this resource is subordinate. Other dogs read it instantly through their own vomeronasal pathways. The signal is territorial only in the sense that a return address on an envelope is territorial. It identifies origin, it doesn't claim rank. When that thunderstorm rolled in 3 streets away, you heard it. Your dog's body was already responding to the barometric pressure shift minutes before the first crack. Their HPA axis had already started dumping cortisol into their bloodstream, heart rate climbing, pupils dilating, respiratory rate ticking upward. This isn't fear the way you experience fear. Your dog's nervous system has been collecting data on you since the day they came home. Your scent profile, your baseline heart rate audible through their skull. When they press against your chest, the rhythm of your breathing when you're calm versus when you're not. You've been filed neurologically as a coagulation anchor. This doesn't mean you failed your dog. Most owners were simply never taught to notice the earliest signal before the visible reaction. So when your 90-pound lab wedges himself behind you on the couch, not on your lap but behind you, understand what that positioning means inside his threat assessment software. Watch what your dog does before you leave, or the moment you come back. What's the earliest signal you may have been reading the wrong way? Write it in the comments.